And it was very quickly, very early on, there was just like this trial in our marriage. And I remember a lot of just arguing and friction.
Like, legitimately, I'm like, and I think I was already pregnant, but I didn't care. I'm like, is it too late for me? Can I go run out of this? I feel like when God calls you to do something, though, in anything, whether it's small or big, like, there's always going to be opposition to make you doubt and to make you, like, want to turn around and walk away from his will.
In marriage, you'll have to swallow your pride. You'll have to forgive. Like, there will always be problems and struggles and trials. And I think for us, the fact that our marriage started that way and we were able to figure it out and navigate it through Jesus, like, it just set the tone for the rest of our marriage. Yes, Karina, here we go. So before we jump in today, we're actually going to be talking about those early years of marriage, and they were fun, and they were also hard, very hard. We'll get into some of that. But before we start diving into this part of our story, I want to ask you, how you feeling? Because you are going to be having a baby soon.
Oh, yeah.
We got 2 months until
we have
delivery
a month and
day.
a half.
Is it
We're
really
almost,
a month and a half?
Yeah.
We've been running like crazy, so I'm losing track of the days. How you feeling?
I'm feeling super pregnant. I waddle now.
You waddle.
Can't sleep.
God.
And
you don't waddle that much.
Oh, I do. I feel like I do. But anyway, so I'm feeling it. Yeah, but I'm ready. I'm ready to not be pregnant. I'm ready to have a baby and meet our baby. We're having our second girl. We have 3 boys, and this is going to be our second girl. So 5 total.
We've got 5 kids together. That's wild. So anyway, and it all started when we had... when we got married, right? And that's where we were. We left off, and we talked about how we just got married. And one thing I left out was that I wanted to talk about is when I proposed to you. It was kind of unique, and it was an idea I got from my friend. Do you want to open up about how that went down, how you were feeling that day?
I'll let you share that part, but I do want to share the part where you accidentally told me
yes,
you were going to propose.
Yeah. So what we did is we were with my family and we went to Worlds of Fun, and I got this idea from a friend. Shout out to my friend, but he gave me this idea to get a caricature. So we had them draw us. And then when he flipped around the paper, it was me on my knee with a ring, Karina. And
so he drew you first.
Yeah, he drew me. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we swapped seats.
Oh, is that how it went?
Yeah,
I don't remember all those details.
Well,
I was so nervous.
And then,
you remember that?
You were really nervous.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I
did really bad.
So you had already told me you were going to propose on this trip.
Yeah.
On accident, because you said, I can't wait to come back home and tell my friends we're engaged.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we were planning a trip, and I was like, yeah, I want you to come with me. And then we were planning on seeing our friends in the Omaha area at the time.
So I already knew. I just didn't know how. So I guess you had that advantage.
Yes.
I didn't know how. I didn't know when, because it was like I think it was your family reunion, so there was a whole schedule for the day. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know when and where and how. So there's still that like surprise, but you chose to do it the moment that I wasn't dressed or ready for it, and it was
we actually have a video of that. We might have to show
probably,
that.
All wet. But you,
oh my gosh,
you had us drawn. You got drawn first, and then we swapped seats.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to talk to you while I was just sitting there, and you were avoiding me.
I was so nervous.
And I think it started to click because your mom had her camcorder facing me a lot, and then when I would see her, she would like look up at the birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd be like, oh, the birds.
I know.
And then people are starting to stand.
Yeah, we had people
stare.
walking by and looking and like making eyes, and then.
So it was towards the end, and then finally, when I think it clicked, the guy asked me to close my eyes.
Yeah,
and then he'll tell me when to open, and then I opened it, and
I was trembling. On my knee. And here's the thing, like I have such a way with words. I'm an artist, a music artist. I write a lot of lyrics, and I've written you so many poems and notes and all that stuff. And I literally had this idea of like, oh, I'm gonna just give her this beautiful word salad.
I was expecting it because I knew.
And
how
I literally.
You said, marry me, please.
I said, will you marry me, please? That was it. And I was so nervous.
Please.
I was actually watching the video the other day. It was just a short clip. And I actually walked off away from you. I think I was just totally nervous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He hugs me and then he kind of paced away. I don't know. You were just
Gosh. Yeah. So anyway, that's just an idea. If anybody needs, an idea of how they could propose, but maybe plan it out a little better than I did.
Don't tell the girl that you're going to propose.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we're going to get into the early years of marriage. And, I think as a lot of couples do, we came in to marriage a little naive. Now that I'm looking back, I'm like, man, we kind of thought we had it figured out. You're like, I'm so in love. Those feelings are still very strong. And for us, we only dated for like 3 months before we got married. So those feelings were still very real, right? So we're all excited. Like we get married, and it was very quickly, very early on, there was just like this trial in our marriage that was very, very difficult for us to navigate. And I remember a lot of just arguing and friction. Now, before I get into some of that, I did want to say, like, one of the things that we realized is moving in with the opposite sex, you don't think about it too, but there's a lot of friction just in the terms of like two different people, male, female, like we're totally different. So I wanted to also talk about some of those things that you remember where you had to like make an adjustment of like, oh my gosh, like this guy's kind of gross.
No, I knew you were gross.
You knew I was gross? Okay. We were friends for a while.
We're friends, but it's different when you live together. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, I just assumed you had common sense, like pick up after yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't just leave your clothes there.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Things like, I don't know. It's just little things, but they're things that your mom did for you.
Yeah, right.
So I had to remind you.
My mom did my laundry
very
for a
soon.
while
I wasn't
me,
your
so.
mommy. But like I remember when we were getting married though, like we were excited. We had all those good feelings. But there's a hardship at the very beginning because like, well, we were young and we had the pressure of people like, you're crazy for this. Like I remember having friends, maybe some family kind of suggesting like, well, are you moving too fast?
Yes.
Or like, why so soon? Or are you sure? So there's still that doubt and stuff. So I had those fears of like, are we making a mistake? But we're also like super excited. Like I'm all like, yay, I'm so excited. I'm in love. And like, I knew there was going to be hardships with it. You just never really understand until you're in it.
Like we did a marriage conference type of thing, some premarital counseling type of stuff. And they say that, but you're just like, you don't know until you're in it, just how hard it was. And so, man, early on, I remember us just lots of arguing and just having to resolve, our stuff. But a lot of late nights. That was the thing that got me, right? Is like being up late. And I remember I had to pursue you. That was a big thing. Like, Karina, you were really good at building walls. I remember you were saying how it was like a fight or flight, but I say you would fight me and then you would run away, basically. Fight me with your words and then you run off. And I'm just like, Karina, get back here. Like, but I knew, here's the thing, like the greatest thing that God showed me about love when I first got saved, as I talked about in my story, was that love is an action. It's a choice. It's something you do. It's not just a feeling. And I really understood that. So like I took that very seriously early on. Like even though you would try to run away and you wouldn't want to talk and you would put your walls up, like you would build walls so fast and I'm there trying to break them down like, Karina, come on, like we got to talk about this. But I pursued you really hard, right? Like in those early years.
Yeah, I think that we shared with you guys how Ryan was going to be a father and I was like super excited. I mean, who doesn't want a free baby? You know what I mean? And I worked in daycare. I had nieces and nephews. Like I was good with kids. I was excited. But I think that came with its own trials. Yeah. That I was a little like naive to. And I think everyone who like knows us think we've never had like a real problem. They're like, oh, you guys never had it hard. But like those first years, the first one specifically was so bad that like I remember like thinking like, is it too late to get like an annulment? Is that what you said?
Yeah, an annulment, yeah.
Like legitimately, I'm like, and I think I was already pregnant, but I didn't care. I'm like, is it too late for me? Can I go run out of this? Man. It was so bad. And there was times where like, I told you like, I think I want an annulment. You're like, no. And you wouldn't even let me
consider it. It wasn't even an option.
Consider it or think about it.
No.
There was times where I wanted to run off to Kearney because I had my friends from college still living there. So I just wanted to go with my friends. They'll give me great counsel, I'm sure.
Maybe go party a little bit.
I just want to go cry to them and vent to them. And you were like, no, we need to talk this out. And
I feel like we react out of our trauma more than we realize, even today. Like, we're all still dealing through stuff. I feel like we're probably going to be uncovering trauma till the day we die, right? And so one thing I think for you, your dad left you when you're 17, or sorry, when you were 7. Your mom passes away when you're 14. And I just feel like you built walls pretty quickly. Like, that was kind of your reaction.
And
you
layers.
Know what I mean? Yeah. Layers of walls. Like I always say, and Shiloh, our son would probably agree, you'd be great at Fortnite because you can build walls real fast. So you always built the walls. And then one of my traumas was my parents' divorce. And I thought about this recently, but I think that my parents' divorce actually is one of the things that led me to pursue you so hard. And I was like, no, we're not going to leave this alone. It was like you were literally talking about annulment. I don't remember if we ever had that conversation. Maybe you mentioned it early on, but I was just like, that is not an option, because I went through that. And you were already pregnant, and I'm like, we're not going to do that. And it's interesting how sometimes God can use our trauma. He can use the things that hurt us the most, and he can flip them, and they can be strengths. And so for me in that moment, I really believe that the traumatic experience of me being my parents getting a divorce, it led me to pursue you so hard. You know what I mean? And we had, again, like I was saying earlier, like we had so many late night arguments. And Karina, you know I love to go to bed early. Like you always, she called me grandpa.
I mean, we'd probably get in an argument and it'd be like 8 or 9, and it would be like 1 a.m. and you'd be like, Karina,
come on.
And I'm just like, maybe just now budging a little bit.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm really.
But I remember but I don't think we went to bed mad at each other for probably, I think it was about 4 years.
Well, we learned that in the marriage conference, how it's very important. Because when you guys are mad, when we're mad and you're not talking to each other, they were saying how someone is talking to you, as in the enemy. He's putting thoughts, he's putting ideas, he's putting these stories, creating a story that hasn't happened and isn't going to happen, but I already have this whole idea of what's going to happen. And so then I start building this bigger wall, and now it's going to be harder for us to communicate because I already have this whole idea already of what happened. And so it's when one of us isn't speaking, somebody is speaking to the other
and I
one.
feel like the danger there, which I've seen happen many times, is that you go to bed and you just never talk about it. You know, especially if you're both working and you got kids, it's it's hard. It's hard to find that time. And then over time, even the little things seem like they're bigger things. And then all of a sudden it just explodes and you see it happen. I think you mentioned you didn't know that your parents were going to be getting into, when they got divorced, it was a surprise to you. It's I've noticed too, sometimes kids are caught off guard and they're like, what? But it's years and years of unresolved stuff, it adds up. And so I remember we fought hard in those first few years of usually it was me, we're not going to bed early. And I remember it's so interesting, in those arguments, it's like a progression. It's usually you won't say anything to me. You won't look at me, nothing. I'll try to touch you. It's get away from me. And then slowly you'll your walls will come down. I'll start chipping away at your walls.
If I don't let you touch, my spirit's closed off.
Yeah, it's your spirit. And that's the thing. It's the physical is off, which means it's the spiritual, right? It's who you are inside. You're closed off. So I would have to do the work, and it was a process. And then slowly you'd let me put my hand on your, on your leg.
Your hand slowly testing the waters.
Yeah, you test it. And we always say you're like a chihuahua. And so, she'll be nipping at me, yipping at me. And then eventually she'll stop. And then it's
so
then we can hold hands. And then when I know I got you is when you start looking me in the eyes. And it's okay, we're getting somewhere. But here's the thing. There were these struggles, really hard trials. And in the moment, it was really, really hard. But one thing about you, Karina, is you would build your walls high, but I always have known you to humble yourself.
After my big fit, yeah.
After you always throw your fits, of course. Your fits are big.
My pride is like spiked up and then it calms down.
Yes, it takes a while, but you have always been humble in that way. Like and again, it comes from your faith in God. Like, I don't know if you want to touch on that at all, but like being able to humble yourself, you know?
Oh, it's all God. I think if it wasn't for him, I would just be straight up, just prideful.
Yeah, I know.
That's it, you know, but
yeah. I know you've talked about before you gave your life to Jesus when you were 12, how big of a brat you were.
I was a big brat, and I'm just a little brat.
You're still kind of a brat, but not as big. So anyway, so I remember you would slowly let your guard down, and then we would always be able to come together at the end of it. And here's the thing, is it didn't mean that whatever thing or situation was happening in the moment was resolved. That situation came up many, many, many times, and it would come up again. But in that moment, I think the key to it was us understanding what Jesus did for us. And that's why it's so important for us. Like in our marriage, when I looked at, we built our foundation on Christ from the beginning. You know, we told both of our stories. We gave our life to Jesus, and that was the core of our life. We built our life on that. And then we built our marriage on that as well. It's like everything in this marriage is meant to glorify him. And so in those moments where you were mad at me, but the reality is there were a lot of times where you were a big brat, you admit it. And I was mad at you too. And I had to remind you of that sometimes, like, Karina, like, you're not perfect in this, right? But we have to remember that Jesus, he forgave us in at the worst moments of our life. And so we were able to, for that reason, we were able to reciprocate that to each other. Yeah,
I think it's really important to, like you said, making a point that there will be situations that it's not like an overnight solution. Like, there are little disagreements, obviously, where you talk it out, it's done, okay, it's past us. But this specific situation, trial in our marriage, was probably for like the first 8 years of our marriage. Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Yeah.
But it was something that, like, it would come up and it would just, like, all these emotions and feelings would come up, and like it was a huge fight, and there are times where we didn't resolve it, and we had to, I think you would be like, hey, this is just still an ongoing problem, but let's just like overcome these feelings, and like, you know, we had to just resolve it for the day.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. And I think that problem's still ongoing, but because we've learned how to like tackle it day by day. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think I've felt it can't like dictate
like bitterness
me. It doesn't
growing or anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't like affect us anymore. You know what I mean? We can talk about it casually. We can like
and I think
handle it way better because we had practice.
And I think it's a lesson in general. You know, early on there were a lot of little things that we made big things, and you learn how to like just like, maybe that's not a big fight. It's like you pick your battles. It's like, maybe that's not a big a deal as I thought. So early on, like, that was hard. But that first 2 years of marriage, man, I think that really paved the foundation for the future. And it really taught us how to like overcome those things. 'Cause in marriage, you will have to overcome, you'll have to swallow your pride, you'll have to forgive. Like, there will always be problems and struggles and trials. And I think for us, the fact that our marriage started that way and we were able to figure it out and navigate it through Jesus, like, it just set the tone for the rest of our marriage. And so.
Yeah. And that was before kids.
Yeah. That was before kids.
That's just your basic, like, disagreements when you live with someone different than you. There's going to be conflict. Yeah. You know, you're going to have different perspectives, different upbringings, and you're bringing it into one household. So, like, there's going to be conflict no matter what. Like, you could think your marriage is going to be perfect. No. Or, like, car issues, money issues.
Money. We'll get to that.
You're going to be very tempted to, like, point the finger and, like, well, if you would have done this, well, if you would have been this way. And so, like, that's just your first couple years, basic stuff. And then once you start having kids... Yeah, which we're going to get into now. So, now
like,
you have bigger trials.
That was kind of the first, the first glaring thing in our marriage. The next thing was we started having kids. And I think when we started having kids, that's where you start to think more about like, okay, like how am I going to provide? How am I going to start, figuring out a life? Because when it's just you single or even just married, you know what I mean? You're just married and you don't really have kids yet.
We were comfortable in like our apartment.
Simple. Yeah.
It was just
life's a lot more simple.
Our simple little car.
We would watch, I remember we got into Ugly Betty and we would watch Ugly Betty and just like watch shows on Netflix.
Whenever
and it's just so chill.
But now it's like, now we have to get serious about like a house, a bigger car.
And I think, so what I wanted to touch on is for you, that is when you started to explore what career could you maybe step into. And here's the reason I feel like it started with you. So as we've talked about before, like, me and you were raised very differently and you were on your own from an early age and you just realized in life, you've got to make a way. Like you've got to figure it out. And for me, I had my parents there. I don't know that I don't know that I would say I was necessarily like spoiled, but a lot of things were given to me and I didn't necessarily have to like work super hard. Although I was taught
like you took life a little more chill.
Life was more chill.
I got time.
My mom was doing my laundry till I was about 17 or 18. Yeah. So and I'll give you a picture. So anyway, so I feel like you were maybe the first one who was really like, okay, we're having a kid here. We're starting to have kids. Like, I think we need to think about that. And so for you, it was dental assisting, right?
Yeah.
And kind of talk about how you got into that.
Well, I don't know if like I didn't really know what I wanted to be 100%. When I went to Kearney, I was going to be like for the dental field only because my brother had like suggested it. And
So would you say to be a dentist like when you were in Kearney?
I mean, that was actually my brother told, like he was like, hey, I think you should be a dentist. Like my brother just told me this. As an 8th grader, and I was like, ew, gross. Like, who wants to work in people's mouths?
Yeah.
So, but then, as I started looking into it, they make good money. You don't have to, like, it's not as, like, it's still complicated, but it's not like a medical doctor who has to know all this stuff. So I'm just like, okay. And then so now that I'm having kids, I'm like, I need to think of a career. And I think in the dental field, it's more flexible when you have a family. That's the thing too. Like you're not working crazy hours.
I see.
And so then I started looking into dental assisting just as like a temporary, because I still didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think it was like an 18-month program or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I could do this. This is good. And so I had a friend who was in like the program, but she was working already as an assistant. So I asked her questions like, hey, like, how can I, what should I do? What do you recommend? And she was telling me that in certain states, you don't technically have to go to school for it. I mean, you have to be certified, but you can get your certificates through like courses and stuff. But she's like, you don't technically have to be certified. But it's just the thing is like no one's gonna hire you unless you're skilled. She's like, but I got a job because she was in the program. They hired her as like an intern, so she was like learning on the job while she was finishing school. So she told me you should apply, and then just like tell them you're enrolled, because I was like getting enrolled, and then if they give you a job, just like maybe they'll let you do what I'm doing. So I applied at like some corporate places and I interviewed and I mean everything was going great. They loved me. I was excited. And then it comes down to like, so like when did you finish school? And I was like, oh, about that. Like I'm actually like I just like went and talked to school and I'm gonna get enrolled here because like they were about to finish that one and then they're gonna start. So I was telling her like, yeah, I was hoping that like if you guys would be open to like let me be an intern while I do that. And so then she told me like, well, technically we could just send you to our main office, which was like 3 hours away, and like just train you so you don't have to go through the program. The only hardship with that is like I would have to learn everything in 2 weeks versus 18 months.
That's a lot.
So she was like, so we have a new doctor coming. If you can go and get trained for 2 weeks and like learn everything, like procedures, instruments, everything.
I want you to talk about some instruments. I love words, and some of the names of these instruments Give us some of the names.
The luxator. That's the one that goes between the tooth and the bone to wiggle it.
Ugh.
The ronger is like the bone crusher.
That's my favorite, ronger. Just the way it rolls off the tongue.
There's a bone
It's
file.
a bone crusher? The ronger is?
And the bone file.
Those are terrifying.
The cow horn forceps.
Cow horn?
It's for the back molars.
Wow.
I know.
You're good. You must have learned them pretty well, huh?
Anyway, so she goes, if you can go for 2 weeks and learn everything, the goal is that the doctor won't know that you were trained.
He won't ask.
So
where'd you get this girl?
So then I was up for the challenge, but it was very, very hard. Like there was a lot of tears. I think at one point I was training with a military dentist.
Oh, yes. I remember
cried
you
a
talking
lot.
about that.
I think he screamed.
He screamed?
I cried. I didn't cry there. Like I got up and went and cried, and then I came back and finished. But
like a boss.
He was an older guy, and he was just more like challenging. But at the end, though, I was his favorite assistant, so we got along afterwards. But
yeah,
he definitely put me through the trials. But anyway, so I was just so determined. You know what I mean? I was like, well, why not? If I could save money and time and provide for my family. So I trained, and then they offered me the job, and then I did that for 3 years, and I was so excited.
Hey, I hope that you are enjoying this episode. I just wanted to come in real quick and let you know that we are a nonprofit podcast that is made possible largely by donations. If you have been encouraged by anything you've heard here on Life Upside Down and you feel led to give, you can click the QR code and head over to our giving page. We truly want to say thank you so much. Every gift makes it possible for us to continue to tell more people about our living God. Yeah, and I did want to touch on around this time too, the idea of Life Upside Down actually came from, because we were talking about how we started having kids. So we're like, oh my gosh, we got to start thinking about some more things than just ourselves. But the idea of Life Upside Down, I remember when we came up with the name, it was because we were thinking about how when we started our marriage and our family, I came up with this kind of saying. It was that we built our life around our family. So we got our family in the middle, and then we build our life around that rather than building our family around our life. And I know you've talked about kind of this system that you were always taught and shown. And so I wanted you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I just think that we're taught to go to college. Like you have to go to college to be somebody. And then you invest so much time, so much debt on something, and a lot of them don't even know what they're really going for, if they really want to do that, Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times we don't put in consideration, well, I want to have kids one day, So now you've invested all this effort in a career, and when you get there and you finally start having a family, now you have to make your family work around your career because you have so much debt you have to pay off. You've used so much time to chase this career, so it's hard to just you know what I mean? Give it up for your family. So I feel like I don't know. I always tell young people who I mentor and stuff is okay, if you ever want to be a mom, or if that is something this is what I want to do. I really I just encourage them to just really think about okay, what career are you chasing? Are you going to be able to be a mom when you're ready? I just don't want them to be in so much debt where they can't, or you know what I mean? Or if they're stuck in a career that they just have to do because they have a degree in it, but they don't like it. They're miserable going to work, but that's just what people say. You have to work, you have to be this and be somebody. So I'm always your family comes first, and then everything else has to revolve around your family, not the other way around. Yeah. So I feel in those early years, I think we had to drop off our son after we had him with grandma and maybe a niece a few times. But you also talk about how when you first had him, you dropped him off and you almost felt this emptiness, right? Yeah. Well, it's you don't know how hard it's going to be until you have them. You have this baby, you're so in love with them, and you barely know them because you have 2 months or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's then you have to drop him off with strangers for like 8 hours. And I'm just like, but I want to know him more. I want to be with him. Like, I just felt this like uneasiness, and I definitely cried a lot, and I struggled because now I was just like, well, what if I want to be mom? What if I don't want to come here and like work for this? You know, it was a battle, but I was never prepared for that. I always knew as I was pregnant and stuff, like, okay, I'm going to have the baby. I'm going to put him in daycare. Like, that was our plan.
Yeah, that's like the system you've kind of just seen, right?
And then we're going to, you know, until they go to school, and then they'll go to school, and I'm just going to keep working here. Like, that was our plan. But then the baby's born, and I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I don't want that plan, you know? But I just didn't feel like we ever had anybody that
saying
was
something different.
or like teaching us or like encouraging us to even challenge that, you know? So a lot of times I know we talked about like, well, are we crazy? Like, can we do that? Yeah. Like, is that possible? Because also now it's like we're considering sacrificing an income, and that's also not normal. Because like, especially now with our economy, is like, can you afford that? Which it's possible because we did
it's possible, but it's hard.
It's hard,
and it's all God.
But everything that's worth it is hard. You know what I mean? Like, if you resist anything, like if there's resistance, there's going to be friction. It's going to be hard. It's going to be pressure. And so, like, if you're doing the opposite of the norm, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Now,
especially
it's worth it, though.
The system is kind of built that way, you know, in terms of just overall, like, you know, in our culture, it's kind of built that way. So we actually... So very early on, we're like, you know what? I don't think we want to do daycare, and we started doing opposite shifts. I did an overnight job that allowed me to sleep overnight, and then I would get up and I'd be with our kids, and so we did that for a long time, and we really just pressed into that, and we're just like, we're gonna do this thing differently, you know, and so. And
I was gonna say real quick, and like I know sometimes, like I said, we had grandma watching him for a little bit. I know sometimes it's not possible to do it right away, and it's okay. Like, it's not to shame anyone if your kids are in daycare. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's like, I'm just encouraging you. Like, if this is what your heart and what God is placing in your heart, like, it's possible. That's it. It's possible.
That's good. Yeah.
So, like, I just want to encourage you. Like, that doesn't have to be like your life. That doesn't have to be your only option. Or like, let's say you have a plan, but this season you're in, like, that's what you have to do. Like,
yeah,
you know, and it's like, I mean, you can talk to your husband and make a plan, but I'm just, like I said, my goal is that you know that there are options. That's not the only way to do things.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I'm glad you prefaced that because, you know, for us early on, like I think we both just felt like family was a big piece of our ministry that God was calling us to. And he truly calls everybody to something different. And so again, as we're sharing this stuff, it's like we're sharing our story. This is kind of how we experienced it. But God does call different people to different things.
And we didn't know it was possible. So I think that led us to wrestle with like, well, are we crazy? Is this normal? And then I feel like if someone even told us, hey, this is an option, it's hard, but it's there, it would have just saved me from a lot of self-questioning. I don't know. Yeah, like a lot of more like mental, because you're just like, why do I feel this way? But I don't feel, you know, so it was just a lot. But yeah.
So I remember shortly at some point, probably in like 2016 or so, I started getting this itch from the Lord. Like, and I was spending a lot of time with God. I would, you know, prayer, Bible study, I would fast, things like that. I just started feeling this call. So I had got saved at this church, and it was, you know, a couple hours from our home. And I just started feeling this call, like God was calling us to move back there, because I lived there shortly, and then I moved back home. And it was just like, I was just like, man, I really feel like God is telling us.
So you lived there, but I didn't live there. So you lived there before we were together.
Yeah. This was when I was single and I got saved. I talked about that in my story. But when I brought that to you, Karina, you didn't necessarily feel that way. And you can kind of go into why.
Well, you're just going to go, hey, Karina, you don't have to, like, I don't know, like, don't get upset. Don't take this super, like, not serious, but you're like, I'm starting to feel like God is maybe telling me that we need to move.
Yeah.
And then this particular place is like, it's more like a small city. So we are from like a smaller town. So it would just be, for me personally, it'd be like a huge change. And I'm like, well, there goes my high pitch.
Well, it was, that means she's lying.
No, I don't think so. But I'm just like, well, if God's telling you that, like, he'll tell me that, but he hasn't been telling me that. So I'm like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because here's the thing, dude, you're someone who gets really excited about things.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, well, how do I know it's not just you? Like, how do I know it's not one of those, like, Grand Island's a problem, so I need to get out of Grand Island? You know what I mean? Because, now we have kids. Like, I think we had Shiloh, and then we're going to have our second. So it's like, I can't just trust your feelings to move. You know what I mean?
They were more than feelings.
And then at this point, so I'm working at this dental office, and then I had a friend who managed a retail store, and she was really like low staff, like short staff. So she asked me if I could work like 3 days a week, like closing shift, and we needed extra money, so I did it. So technically, I have 2 jobs. I'm a mom, so I just feel like I already had a lot on my plate. And you even like tried suggesting, well, why don't you just like apply at places and see and like if God opens doors and stuff. But I'm just like, no, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wasn't open to it.
I know you weren't. Luckily, God knew what he was doing.
Well, tell us what happened
So
next.
we'll jump ahead to at some point around that time, we were heading up to Kearney. We were going to head there. I think I had met someone. We were going to talk about music or something.
You're meeting with someone about your music.
Meeting with someone about the music. And I remember I was putting gas in and I'm just standing there and I just get that still small voice. As we've talked about before, it's like, you know, you don't really understand how you hear God's voice, but it was like this soft feeling in my mind. It was a thought. It was like, whatever happens in Kearney, just trust me. That's what I was feeling like. I felt like God was saying that. I'm just like, oh, okay. I wonder what that means. You're kind of excited,
though. I think you almost felt like, oh, maybe this is a great connection with like maybe my music and this guy's music. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So then we get there. I'll let you lead.
Well, you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me. You didn't mention this to me that something was going to happen.
I didn't tell you.
So the guy you're meeting with is like texting you like, hey, man, I'm running late. So then we go to a park to kick a soccer ball with our toddler. And we have a baby in the car seat. And, like, so we go play at the park while we're waiting for him. And something that's really annoying about Ryan is, like, he's really good at everything he does, which is, like, so annoying. Like, I played soccer all high school, worked my butt off to even be decent. And I asked Ryan, too, like, as we were married or dating, like, hey, do you play? And he's like, oh, I played in 6th grade. Like,
it was 8. I played till I was 8.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah.
But, like, he made, like, just, like, a little bit a long time ago. And he does a rainbow and, like, juggles and, like, kicks in the air. And, like, just, anyway, so we're playing with Shiloh. And then all of a sudden it turns into a Ryan and Karina competition. He always competes with me. I get so annoyed.
We literally like on the Nerf hoop, I'll be like, let's play horse, and then I gotta be
So then now he's like doing rainbows, showing off, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I'm gonna like kick this ball so hard it's gonna blow him away. My little pride kicked in.
Oh my god.
So I plant my left leg down so hard and passionately.
Yeah.
And I kick so hard with my right leg. Oh my god. And I like twist my body to kick, and like my left knee goes out.
Oh my god!
It went to like the side of my leg.
Oh man, nasty.
Oh, it was horrible.
It was so funny. I walked up to you and I'm like, Karina, you're making a scene. What are you doing?
You did not say that. No, but he comes to check on me, and I'm like,
oh my gosh,
I'm about to pass out because the adrenaline just like rushed, and the room was like, it was spinning. I was just. And I'm like telling him, like, I think I'm gonna pass out just in case, just so you don't freak out. And he like later on, I mean, I went to the ER. I mean, the ambulance had to come get me. My leg was folded, knee was out. Oh, yeah. It was bad. They had to put like morphine, like an IV in my vein, and it was just terrible.
Hold on, real quick. The funny part, you said there was like someone recording you.
There was like 2 like middle schoolers like recording.
I'm always
I think
wondering,
they're like YouTubers.
Did they put it on YouTube?
This is when YouTubers.
If you have that video, we want it. That'd
These
be
boys
great.
are like just making their videos at the park, and I gave them something. I gave them something to film, and they come, whoa,
Oh my
like
gosh.
over me as I'm like about to pass out. So I might be out there somewhere in some kids' YouTube video.
Yeah, send it to us if you have it. Anyway, that's so funny.
So as I'm like, they pop my leg back in, and then I get crutches and a big like boot, and later on Ryan goes, yeah, Karina, I feel like you were a bit dramatic there. I was so mad.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, so we leave the hospital, meet with his friend, and now I'm crippled. And now I'm like not working for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have a baby and a toddler.
And your excuses were gone because her excuse was she's so busy.
Ryan tries, hey, you remember that you said you couldn't apply anywhere because you didn't have time? Well, you're in bed for 2 weeks.
Yeah, here's a computer.
He gave me the computer, and I was just like, fine. Like, I was so annoyed, but I'm like, dude, I'm in freaking crutches. I have a boot. Who's going to hire me?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to apply just to show you, and I applied at a couple places, and like the next day I got an interview, like a phone call for an interview. and then
That was real quick.
And then he's getting excited. He's like, see, I told you God might be opening a door. And I'm like, okay, Ryan, like, calm down. I'm in a boot and crutches. We're going to go. I'm going to interview. And they're going to be like, yeah, right. I'm not going to get the job. So then we go. And yeah, like he shows us around. We meet the doctor. Doctor meets us. And we just like all fell in love with each other. And we're like, yes, it's a good fit. And like he offers me the job.
Yep.
With crutches
and I remember
everything.
At that time, like, again, you were just kind of getting your foot in the door with dental assisting. Even when you had that dental assisting job, when we look back at how much it paid now, you're just like, how do we live? But anyway, so from that to like,
well, now I went to like
surgical.
with an oral surgeon.
Yeah, so
like
surgical.
Now you're just working with like a specialist, and so you get paid more. And I think just the fact that it's like also in a city.
Yeah,
the cost of living's more, so like I feel like the pay is a little more. But yeah, it was definitely
and you were working overtime, I think,
than what I was making.
So yeah, so our income, so it was like, whoa, what a huge blessing. We're about to like take a huge leap of faith and move away from our home. Like that was basically all we've known, for the most part. And so we packed up our U-Haul and our trailer. And I remember even like the move down there, like one of the trailer tires blew out and like it got pushed back an extra day, and it was like a trial. It was hard, like even just to move. And your family helped us, praise the Lord. Like they helped us so much. But I remember it was Sunday, and we were just barely getting everything finally unloaded, and it was like 9:30 p.m. and we were in such a rush. Like we literally in our 2-bedroom apartment, we had boxes stacked up, even in the living room. It was just like, throw everything in. Like we got to go. We're running out of time.
It was like 9-10 p.m. And then our family like left because it was Sunday.
Yeah. And they
had to go back for work the next day. So.
And I remember then we had to go get groceries. And
it was storming.
And it was storming. It was pouring rain.
And we have a toddler and a baby.
Like it was such a mess. And I remember when we came home from that, it's like pouring rain. We're carrying up to the second floor. And I just remember opening that door and there's just boxes everywhere. And we're just like, and you have to get up at 5 a.m.
I said I had to start working at
even sooner.
6, so I had to be there sooner.
And you hate driving in bigger cities.
Well, I've never driven, so now I have to find. No, so it was a mess. I think we got home from Walmart, and the storm were all wet. Our kids were asleep because it was late, and we just started crying on the floor. Like I think we just had like our one couch, our table, and then boxes, and then we just started crying.
And it was like. There was levels of like, are you sure like this is what God wanted to do?
And our family even kind of like asked that before they left.
Like, you good?
All right, are you guys sure? And we're like, like yeah, we're
sure. But it's so interesting because in that moment, like again, like I feel like there's lessons in that. Because you see in the Bible, like people who had to step out in faith and they took big leaps of faith, and then things don't necessarily look good. For instance, the parting of the Red Sea, it's right behind me, right? Like they go through, they see this miracle. The fact that we got there and just all of the things that lined up was kind of like, whoa, like we think God called us here. And you think of the Red Sea, they walk through, but then they're wandering and like they're relying on God every single day for food and water, and like, but they didn't necessarily see how it was all going to work out. And that's literally how we felt in that moment. It was like, did we make the right choice? It was terrifying.
I feel like when God calls you to do something, though, and anything, whether it's small or big, like there's always going to be opposition to make you doubt and to make you like want to turn around and walk away from his will. And like, I mean, we knew, like I said, there were so many things that just
lined up.
It was so clear, like God just repeated himself over and over, and like it made more sense. Like, yeah, we were supposed to move. Like it would take more faith to not move, right? Like,
yeah.
And so, but then at the same time, like physically, like so many things were going wrong that like it was enough to make us question, like, are we sure? Like, do we? And then I feel like the enemy always makes you question. So that's where your faith is. It has to be so, like, it has to be real, because like no, I know God told me, you know what I mean? Like I know he did. And then you have to really cling on to that, because you're always gonna have doubt, and like you'll have the enemy and yourself. Like it's you too, you know, not just the enemy. Sometimes we just
overthink.
We don't like overthink, or we just self-doubt, and so it's just like a lot. And so, but like I mean, like the tire going out on our way there, it was a Sunday, and we had been communicating with the apartment person, and somehow she forgot, and we didn't have the keys, and we couldn't get a hold of them to get our stuff moved in. Yeah. And then like we didn't, you know, it's just so. And then our neighbor's cat got in our U-Haul, so that was
from our
so dumb. And so my sister had to take their cat back. It was just so annoying. I almost wanted to just like let it go.
I think the cat peed on a bunch of stuff in our U-Haul.
It was so much stuff.
So it was scary.
Yeah.
Right there. And so then we go to bed. Karina, you wake up and you go to work. Yeah. And I want you to just briefly touch on that.
Yeah. So I wake up, I'm exhausted. I go to my first day. So excited. And then I walked into like my worst nightmare.
We've got plenty more of the story to come, so make sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're never left out on what's to come.